Hello and welcome to Reason News. Today we're diving into a significant development in South Africa's history, the reopening of the inquest into the death of Inkosi Albert Luthuli, a towering figure in the anti-apartheid struggle and a Nobel Peace Prize laureate. For decades, the official narrative surrounding Chief Luthuli's death in 1967 was that he was tragically struck by a train. However, this explanation has long been met with skepticism by his family, anti-apartheid activists, and many within South Africa. They believe his death was not an accident, but a consequence of his powerful opposition to the oppressive apartheid regime. Albert John Mvumbi Luthuli was a man of immense stature, both literally and figuratively. Born in 1898, he rose to prominence as a leader within the Zulu community and was appointed chief of the Grootville tribe in 1937. However, his role would soon extend far beyond his traditional duties. As the apartheid government intensified its discriminatory policies, Luthuli became a central figure in the resistance movement. A key leader in the African National Congress, Luthuli championed non-violent resistance against apartheid. His unwavering commitment to equality and justice earned him international recognition, culminating in the Nobel Peace Prize in 1960, the first for a South African. Even after being stripped of his chieftaincy and subjected to banning orders that restricted his movement, his moral authority remained undeniable. Now, 58 years after his death, the National Prosecuting Authority, NPA, has reopened the inquest into the circumstances surrounding his passing. This decision follows years of persistent calls from the Luthuli family and others who believe the original inquest in 1967 was a whitewash designed to conceal the truth. Here's a video from the SABC.
In fact, this is what came out of a discussion that we had earlier on this morning with ANC-NEC member Dr. Zweli Mkhize, who instead, and I quote, he said the apartheid government were masters of a deception, and basically saying that from the time they never believed the story that Chief Albert Luthuli was run over by a goods train. And he's saying that particularly today, more especially for the ANC as well, as more importantly in this matter, and are the families who want closure, who for years have said that they do not believe the version that was given at their time. And of course, as you know, that there was an initial inquest in 1967, shortly after the death of Chief Albert Luthuli. But of course, that inquest found no one, as you've said, criminally liable for his death. We fast forward now, and of course, just before that, you know that there are two inquests which will be running concurrently here at the Pietermaritzburg High Court, also into the death of human rights activist and lawyer Griffiths Mqenge. And for both of these families, this has been for many, many years of them pleading with the authorities to reopen investigations for them, or rather to reopen the inquest so that they're able to find a closure. And of course, we wouldn't be here today and without the work that has been done by the NPA, the National Prosecuting Authority. And as you know, that advocates from the NPA's TRC unit will be leading evidence in these two inquests. And now let me bring in the spokesperson of the NPA here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, Natasha Akara. Natasha, thank you so much for your time. You know, I'd imagine we're speaking of incidents, Natasha, that took place in the early 80s as well as 1967. I'm just looking at the mammoth amount of work that has been before the NPA over these years, leading up to the DPP here in the province, Ma'am Elaine Harrison, to make the recommendations to the Minister of Justice for these inquests to be reopened.
Absolutely. A huge collaborative effort between, as you said, the NPA here in KZN, the TRC unit, as well as the NPA TRC unit at the National Office, together with the National Archives, as well as the DPCI's TRC unit. So a collaboration of that, investigations, prosecutor-guided investigations have brought us here.
Proceedings began yesterday in the Pietermaritzburg High Court. The NPA has stated its intention to present new evidence that aims to overturn the original finding of accidental death. While the specifics of this evidence have not been fully disclosed, it is understood to include forensic analysis and expert testimony that questions the likelihood of Luthuli being struck by a train in the manner described in the initial inquest. The Luthuli family has expressed their profound hope that this reopened inquest will finally bring them closure and reveal the truth behind their father's death. They emphasize the importance of understanding not only how he died, but also who was responsible. This inquest is not just about revisiting a historical tragedy, it speaks to South Africa's ongoing journey of confronting its past and seeking justice for the victims of apartheid. The outcome of this inquiry could have significant implications not only for the Luthuli family, but also for the broader narrative of the struggle against apartheid. We will continue to follow this important story and bring you updates as the inquest progresses. Until next time, stay informed, stay updated, and stay curious.